Ready to rock and roll.
Beautiful, man. Well, in that case, welcome back to the Coaches to the Moon podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with a very good friend of mine, a fellow Sydney-sider, Mr. Andres Garzon. He's a business coach from Business House Group. He's specializing in the construction industry, but he's got a whole lot of experience under his belt. Thank you for being here today, Andres.
Alex, good to see you. Great to be here, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Same city. We've known each other for about probably 6 months now, but
Yes.
we might as well be worlds away.
That's right. You're in a beautiful area surrounded by beaches. I'm closer to the city.
Yeah, but I see your videos you make from your apartment with the views over the city in the background, and grass is always greener, right?
There you go.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's a catch up in there somewhere sometime soon. You're Colombian, right? Colombian descent?
I was born in Colombia and came to beautiful Australia when I was 12. So my wife says I'm more Australian than Colombian.
Yeah, that's interesting. Would that mean, if we would catch you up, would we go straight to coffee or would we go straight to like rum? Or what do they do in Colombia?
Definitely the coffee would be part of the whole mix.
Yeah.
But we'd have some, even mix it up with some tequila. Why not?
Really?
The coffee and tequila separate, right? And then we jump onto our Australian things to do.
That's great, man. I'm fascinated by that whole part of the world, that whole South and Central America. This looks like such a joy. And you went to Brazil for a month over Christmas and got stuck there.
I got stuck there for a couple of extra weeks. If you're going to get stuck somewhere, being in a tropical farm in Brazil in the mountains, it's a pretty good place to be stuck in.
100%. Yeah, man. There were people having to isolate in small apartments, hotel rooms in Sydney. Farm in Brazil sounds lovely.
Absolutely. I really feel for anyone that got caught up in that hotel stays or, the restrictions and all of that. And yeah, it's just it's crazy to be isolated in a room for weeks.
It is, and it's a really, really good point I wanted to make. I wanted to actually ask you, because I've only known you, and your coaching business throughout the course of these lockdowns and everything. For you business coaching, I know you've got an office in the city, so you like to do some things face to face, and you do presentations and everything. What's been a good aspect and a bad aspect about the lockdowns for your business?
Look, a good aspect, I think, this lockdown, I think it allowed everybody to slow down and rethink about priorities, right? I think as a nation, and perhaps in a way as a world, a lot of automatic or autopilot happens where everyone is just doing the same thing or not without really thinking about, hey, is my life improving every day or not? Am I taking the right priorities? Am I really doing the things that are right from a life perspective? So I think that these lockdowns were good in order to reevaluate priorities and to make sure that that we're not just living to work, but also living. So I think that was good. Also, as an industry, I've seen an influx of new people coming through, new business owners that are now more open to being helped and also to being mentored, because we're still a relatively young industry. And if you look at the larger companies all around the world, the great majority of them all have access to some mentorship or some coaching. And they make that available to their employees and their team members as well, right? However, in the small and medium sector of the industries, a lot of the business owners don't know yet about the power of having a strategist or a mentor and a coach, and a great coach by your side. It's not just about accountability, it's also about someone having your back and someone looking out for your business from a generalist perspective, not just a consultancy perspective, right? So I think that that's also been good for my business. We've had, I think the work that we've been doing over the last 17 years. We've created a lot of goodwill out there in the industry. However, we're seeing new players coming on board saying, hey, we've heard about you, and can we have a chat? That's from the good side. From the bad side, it's unfortunate to see that really, like these lockdown periods, the largest companies in the world have had massive success, and unfortunately there's been a lot of tough times for the small and medium sector. A lot of them have done very well. However, there's a lot of them that really did struggle through adjusting through that period. So that's unfortunate. For us as a business, I could say that a couple of the areas that were not great for us were that our exposure to events and being out there, events, meeting people, that certainly slowed down for a period of time. And then also we had some international plans which were delayed by a bit too. So that's kind of the good and the not so good.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm firstly, we both had kids during lockdown, so I think that's been fantastic for us as business owners, as ambitious guys who are pretty go. It's made me reevaluate a lot, which is lovely. And you mentioned we're not living to work, and I think that's really come through. And really interesting that you said about more business owners being more open to coaching. And do you think maybe people got a little bit humbled by their control of their business just being taken away one day to the next?
Absolutely. Like, for us, this is the first time that we've had the whole world focusing on the same thing. This thing is massive. It's massive. Everybody was focused on the same thing. Therefore, everyone had to, at some level, I think we all took a reality check. Hey, it's like this is here, right? And so I think it's humbling for everybody. And at the same time, it's like, okay, in this moment, I need to be open to seeing what else I can do to make sure that either I'm prepared, or there were a lot of people that was really interesting as well, Alex. They're contacting me and say, hey, you know what? I see this opportunity and I want to jump on it now. So the opportunistic side also came up, as in, this is the time to strike.
Yes, that's interesting as well. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I started my digital marketing company during lockdowns. I was doing digital marketing before that, not full time, and then it's been great because everyone had to go online. So, but it's you work with a different industry. Mostly, you work with construction industry. I know that industry took a flogging.
Yes.
Not just through people not going out and doing jobs, but lumber expenses and shortage of workers. It was like hospitality. So many people in the construction industry, maybe laborers and stuff, maybe travelers traveling through, and they're not here anymore.
Yes.
Very, very tough time. So now we're focusing a lot on the construction industry. Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel here?
Absolutely. Big lights everywhere. In fact, the industry is doing very strongly. There was a period of time about a year and a half ago, maybe a bit longer, that there was a slowdown. Now, through experience, and part of experience is also doing a lot of research and seeing what's been happening in the industry, not only in Australia, but worldwide over the last 50 years, and also what's expected over the next 50 years. And so we know that every industry is run by cycles. Everything is cyclical. So when there was a slowdown, it's like, okay, well, we know that there's going to be an upswing coming up as well. What happened in this case, though, is that because during the time that the upswing was coming, there was also the lockdown. So it just meant that the market was suppressed for longer. And so now there are a bunch of jobs that still need to happen. There are many projects that are happening all around the place. And now it has brought on about that there is not enough of a workforce to cover all of these projects. So the industry itself is doing very well, is very, very strong. However, this industry is consistently testing who are the professional people that have a solid business model, and who are the ones that are just thinking on a day-to-day basis, which unfortunately are the guys that get caught out. And they're the ones that when the market's going up, it feels like a party that's never going to finish. When it's going down, now they're on the opposite. It's like the whole world is crumbling and it's never going to end. But when you zoom out a bit, you notice there's just another business cycle. So there's plenty of great things happening. The advice would be for anyone in construction to hold on and to really, really be on top of your programs, on top of your productivity, and on top of your budgets. And really, really important, of course, on top of the quality that you're providing for your clients.
Yeah, I think that applies to really any business, right? You know, yes. You've got a lot of coaches listening who maybe they make a few sales one month, and then they're out there. Maybe they're spending that money that they've made, and then there's a quiet period. I had a friend of mine who was working doing marketing for the construction industry.
Yes,
and then there was an event we won't mention, but it caused a lot of protests and a lot of angst in the construction industry a few months back.
Yes.
And instantly all his leads were just gone because no one could give a hoot about his digital marketing that week, and so he had a plan. He had cash flow and stuff like that. But we've all been there, man. We've all made short-term decisions. So that's an interesting one because you've got a lot of experience in business and you've gone through a lot of different factors to bring you into the space where you're a really sought after business coach. Like a lot of business coaches, a lot of coaches out there, you're also NLP master practitioner. You've done a lot of personal development.
Yes.
I'd love to know when you got sort of a construction owner, a business owner, a builder coming to you for the kind of advice you just mentioned, profitability, budgets, systemization, and you're also there with your NLP skills. How do you go about using these less tangible things with someone who thinks they're just there for cold hard advice?
Man, that's it makes it even more fun, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we're gonna have some really good fun here. Well, the thing is it's positioning right from the start. It's like, look, I'm working with you, yes, on your business. However, I'm working with you and your team as business owners and managers of this company. So they already got themselves to where they're at. And whenever we achieve to get somewhere, it's because of the way that we're thinking about our own situation and our own life. So they already know how to get themselves to where they got to. What they're looking for is to go to another level, which sometimes they have clarity on, sometimes they're not even clear on what that next stage looks like, right? So now it's about that permission that we have from them to, you know what, I'm going to be doing some work on your mind as well, because it's about how you're thinking about things. A lot of the things that happen. So as coaches, we need to constantly be paying attention to someone's behavior. Is their behavior aligned with their outcomes? So for example, if someone has a habit of, let's say, changing meeting times. They say, oh, we're having our scheduled meeting on Tuesday at 3 p.m. If you see that they're behaving in a way where they're not running on time, or they're saying, oh, look, can we meet Wednesday this week? Or can we meet Thursday? Now, look, that happens a lot in construction, right? Because of the way that people are working, managing themselves around that time. So you're watching that behavior, right? And then saying, okay, is this going to help this person to get to the outcomes that they want? However, with NLP, what we're doing is we're looking even further. We're saying, okay, what are the beliefs that are holding that behavior? And we go and do work in there. And then really, really important, what's the identity that this person has, that self-identity, which is also a belief that we all have. And we will behave in accordance to that identity. So if, for example, someone says, yeah, look, I want to be successful and I want to be making $2 million a year, right? Now, from an NLP perspective, I'm curious to know about a lot of things. What do they mean by success? What does that mean? How does that relate to lifestyle? Is $2 million the amount that they want to keep in their bank account every year after tax or turnover? What are we talking about, right? And how is that going to affect their lifestyle as well? You may find that the identity this person has doesn't fit with that outcome. You may find that, this person actually, secretly wouldn't mind having $100 million a year. Now, when you can uncover that from an NLP perspective, and you can now help them to create that new identity within their mind, it is super powerful. It's liberating. And they just feel so good. It's like, wow, man, you can see things within me that I cannot see. And you're also here to help me. And you're also empowering me and consistently suggesting to me that I can do it. And then on top of that, you're giving me the business building blocks in order to do it, right? So this is how NLP becomes such a powerful aspect of it. And as the clients get more and more understanding of it, well, they get more excited about it. And then they feel like, well, I can't get this from anywhere else.
Yeah. Wow. Goodness me. It seems like it is walking the balance between working on the person and working on the business, the tangible and the intangible. And there's a relationship between them that a lot of people wouldn't understand.
Absolutely. Another aspect as well with that, Alex, is that, it can be a belief of, a lot of people that come from a trades background into construction, they come from that aspect of, I'm the best at this. I'm the best plumber. I'm the best electrician. I'm the best carpenter. We know that is a limiting belief to a business owner. As a business owner, it's not about you being the best. It's probably you're going to be the best team builder, yes, and the best profit maker, but probably the worst carpenter or the worst plumber. You need better people on that front, on the technical side. Yeah. So that's part again of that, intangible and tangible and connecting those pieces.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. A lot of business owners out there that we work with are just great at the thing they do. They're, like you say on your website, they're craftsmen, they're practitioners, they have a trade or a skill, and they're great at that. And then the business side happens separately. So I think a lot of people say is that the first 100 grand is the hardest. I've heard that all over YouTube and all over Instagram. First 100 grand is the hardest, but then you're throwing out numbers like 100 million, right? And you're working with big companies, but they all started with their first 100 grand.
Yes.
Once someone gets there, what do you believe are the main changes or things they need to focus on to scale a business from 6 figures a year to 7 figures a year?
All right, great question. And look, a lot of it is related as well to what we were just saying, right? With the business owner. If now we look at ourselves as the business owner in a coaching firm, well, the glass ceiling for a coaching firm is the delivery side, is the coaching itself, right? So the shift has to happen at a mental level with a plan, as in, okay, how is it that I deliver my coaching? Now, for example, with myself, I do a lot of delivery on a one-to-one basis, right? However, a client may pay in fees, let's say somewhere between $20,000 to $70,000 a year, somewhere in between that range. And then they get to see me one-on-one through a program, but during that time, I'm there. I'm not able to leverage off that time, right? So that means I have to figure out, okay, if I want to go to 7 figures in that model, then what does that do for my time? And am I happy with that or not? So in that case, I knew that for myself, I would need to leverage through different areas. What does that mean? I need to leverage off online programs, for example, that can be delivered as a program. I need to leverage through having other people work with me in the company from a delivery level. I need to leverage through group programs. And also the other part that I leverage through is through other businesses outside of my coaching firm. And so that allows me to then go into the 7-figure model with the lifestyle that I want. Because for me, the lifestyle component is very important. As you know, I have a young family. I love to travel. I love to, and I also love to be involved in other businesses. So time and lifestyle are really, really important to me. I do know of coaches, some of my friends and associates, they do 7 figures from one-on-one coaching, right? So it's definitely doable, right? However, the time perspective is something for you to think about. Another thing that's really, really important. Well, if you want to be in the making the shift into the 7 figures, then you need to have a marketing machine that's consistently putting the right people in front of you. You need to have a sales machine, a system to continuously convert those people into paying clients. And then you continue creating and delivering the relationships that will have a long-term fruitful relationship with your clients. And then the other part, which I also systemized very early on in the game, was my administrative side. I run a paperless and a really, really simple admin part. So that way, my first stage was to systemize those areas: marketing, sales, and administrative, which allowed me the time to focus on the delivery side. And then once I reached the level where I said, okay, this is where my time now looks, this is how I want my time to look, then I started leveraging through the other areas that I mentioned.
Yeah, so now you're actually going on and you're coaching a coach to help you with the delivery of your program. How does it feel to be actually giving away some control of how you deliver to your, premium paying clients?
Yes. So that's, as you can see, that's the next piece, right? And look, it's interesting because I had the luck of when I started my coaching career, I did it along a large coaching firm, and I was working alongside with the founder, and so I was able to already see a model that did not depend on him delivering the coaching, but instead have a team of coaches that delivered that aspect. So I think I already saw it as, okay, something that can be done, right? Now, for a lot of coaching consultants or coaching people that are themselves or in a small group, that could be something that is it can become the glass ceiling, right? If you're the person doing all of the delivery, it becomes the glass ceiling for a coaching business. So here's the thing, right? We need to get okay that someone else will deliver and that person is not me, and it's going to be different to what I would do. That's it. And it doesn't matter how much we systemize the delivery area, there's still the personal aspect of a coach. We all have our own unique personality. Therefore, how someone else coaches a client is going to be different to how I do it. So I need to be okay with that. That was the initial bit. Then what I do, then I started training coaches. We have already successfully trained a couple of coaches in the company. We're training another one now. And so the key is that I spend a lot of time with them to see how it is that they deliver. Now, the business side, if we call it mechanics, that is the same for everybody and for every business, right? However, the NLP aspect, the psychology aspect, the coaching level, the coaching aspect, the way, the method that they use for coaching, and their own personality they put into it is going to be different. So as long as then we can have the metrics to see, okay, are the clients getting what they need? Are they happy? How long are they staying for on average? All of these metrics around client performance, then I'm finding that it works well, and I want to continue growing this model from that perspective of other coaches servicing our clients. And look, as you said, there is a part of what I need to let go of some control, right? But if you're focused, I find that if you're focused on serving the community, the business community, and being able to do more, then it's easier to let go of that control.
Yeah, I think that's very true. That's very true. It's about long-term vision for the company. It's about the company you want to run and the lifestyle it gives you, for
Yes.
sure. I mean, your friends doing, I've got friends too doing 7 figures on one-on-one coaching. Great, great. Do they want the same goals as me? Right now, I know I could put my foot down a bit more in the business,
Yes.
but it's really fun for me to start work at 10 a.m. after spending 3 hours with my daughters, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Super nice. And so when they go off to school, it'll be about, okay, how do I systemize some things like you're talking about? What can I outsource? What can I leverage? Do you think, you said admin being the first one? I think that's a pretty easy thing to get done. Did you hire in? Did you hire in-house? Did you outsource? Did you get a VA? What did you do?
Well, yes, I find it to be the easiest one, if we could call it that, right? As because the people that will work in the admin area, they're people that are very structured, right? By nature, they need to be like that in order to work in a department like that. So what we did, as a business, I started looking for people in-house. So I hired someone locally here in Australia. But here's the big secret, and I'm happy to share it because, as I said, it's about everyone in the community improving themselves. What we did is we set up a company structure where we could then hire some virtual assistants, offshore virtual assistants, to be able to then handle the administrative side. So I have one person here managing it, and we have a team of 8 people that they're in the Philippines. And the reason for that is because that service is something that we also offer our clients. So we offer administrative services to our clients as well, in the form of bookkeeping, admin work. Some of them, they use the services of social media posts, so social media content. All of that can be offered from an offshore system. However, what's really, really important is that you have local presence to manage it. I find that a lot of companies that want to engage that type of system and they don't have a local representation struggle. So that was our experience in setting it up. I want someone locally managing it, and then we can leverage from that. So that's the way I set it up, Alex.
That's awesome. I love seeing how, the difference between speaking with you. You are running this thing like a company with lots of moving parts and make it simple. Because most people listening in my network, we're all, 1 to 5 people on our teams, and 5 people at the top end of the spectrum where maybe there's an appointment setter, a social media person, a couple of VAs, that sort of thing. And then the coach, the solopreneur, handles most of everything. You got 20 years, 18, 20 years in the game, man. It's really interesting to see what happens. Do you think that people need to go and do some sort of qualification or business course to get the knowledge you've got, or did that just come from time, mistakes, and experience?
As with everything, right? We as humans, we have the ability to make it as easy or hard on ourselves as possible, right? There are reasons why we engage professionals to do what they do, right? Like the things you provide for your clients are specific things that they're yes, they can probably do it without you, but it might take them years before they can get anywhere near the results that they're going to get by engaging you. So I've always had this mentality of, going and finding someone that is already doing what I'm doing, and really humbly just asking for help and putting myself in an environment where I can learn from them. In saying that, I think that eventually the coaching industry will need to become regulated, because at the moment it's completely unregulated, and anyone really can go and start coaching somebody. But until you've done the real experience, until you've done years of training, and being able to work with multiple clients. I don't think that that is fair on both the industry and the client to be working with clients, and demanding to be paid for it if you can't deliver the results. So I think there's some regulation will be needed in the future. I think that will be very important. Apart from that, though, what you said, anyone can get to do what we're doing if they're willing to do what we've done, which is, work for free for many years. I worked for free for companies to do some learning. Then I also coach clients for free when I started. I did a lot of pro bono work when I started out, because I wanted to gain more industry experience. Then we've invested so much into professional training and personal development. Every year I'm out there doing other programs myself as well. And so that's part of what shows, are you passionate about people? Are you passionate about business? And are you passionate about helping people become better in their business and their life? And I think those are the main ingredients, right? In order to help someone to really, to improve themselves through their business and have a better life as an effect of it.
I'll tell you what I love is that you've just said that, you're still out there doing other people's programs and learning and investing every year. You've got this great company, but you're not sitting there thinking, okay, I know everything. I'm done. I've got it. And it's reminded me, I saw a fantastic clip a couple of days ago. I don't know if you know who Alex Hormozy is.
No.
Alex Hormozy, he's this guy. He's probably about, my age, in my early 30s. And and about 6 years ago, he was like a coach for like gyms to build their gyms up. And, then he started getting bigger on social media. And now he's just, business acquisition, just buying companies, selling companies, and working with like Grant Cardone, big names, and, millions of subscribers and dollars and stuff. And he said, a quote I saw him say was, I didn't have any money in my bank account until I had $1 million in there. And what he meant was because before that, he was reinvesting everything in the acquisition of skills and knowledge. And I thought that was super duper cool that he was saying, my sales team come to me and say, oh, I've got 25 grand now. What should I invest in? And he's like, just invest in you. And he's still doing it. And I mean, that's something that I know my dad had a good company. Yeah, but he's never been to a business coach, never been to a mentor. I mean, yes. Do you think, I don't even know what I'm trying to get at here, but mostly, why do you keep investing and why do you keep learning from other people? Although some people can, look at you and say, he's already got everything he needs.
Well, that's the thing, right? There's always going to be something else that can be done. And I would find it really arrogant of myself if I heard myself saying, I know it all. I know all this already, or I know as much as I can know now. I shouldn't learn anymore. I'd give myself a big uppercut if I hear myself saying that. I give you permission to give me one too, man.
Anytime.
And so that's the thing. I think we get to that level when we know that information alone doesn't get us where we need to be. If that was the case, everyone would have complete success now. It is training and continuous improvement that gets us there. So it's a lifestyle. I work with 2 coaches myself, so I'm coached by 2 people, and so I invest in these areas. One of them is on the business side, the other one is the business acquisition space, and so I invest into that because I can still improve a lot, and I expect everyone in my company to be doing the same. So I really enjoy it when someone like, from a company that I'm coaching, when someone goes and asks the owner, hey, do you think I can get access to your coach? Can I be introduced into the coaching process? I really enjoy when I hear that, because it's like, you know what, this person, they have that initiative within them. They have that curiosity, and they have that mindset of growth. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also so much easier as well and more authentic to sell a coaching service to someone and ask them to invest money when you're investing money yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's complete congruence, right?
Congruence, authenticity, congruence. It's what we're all about here, man. No, I love it. So, look, I think I've squeezed as much free knowledge out of you as I can for the people listening. Obviously, you're working with the bigger companies, the construction, the accounting firms, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Is there anything you'd like the smaller people out there to know, the people who are sitting there listening to this podcast, watching this video and thinking, oh my goodness, if I don't get my first $1,000 a month client this month, I'm in the shit. Any message for these people, Andres?
All right. So first thing, it's if someone's thinking that, they now need to switch their thinking into, you know what? Here's the reality. There is abundance for everybody out there. You can make millions of dollars a month if you switch your thinking to helping others. So rather than thinking, I need to get my first $1,000 a month client, you need to be thinking, okay, who is it that I know that I can now start helping, right? And with the people you have already in your network, right? You can either reach out to them or reach out to other people in their network and start helping them out. If you think about, okay, as a business owner, what is it that they need to improve their lives on? They need to be better at time, because as people usually get busier, the time starts to suffer, which affects their quality of life. Also, what do they need to get better? They need to understand their numbers better. They need to understand their money better. They need to know their team better. They need to know how to hire people better. They need to surround themselves with better skill in their companies. Now, any business owner that has someone that can offer them something that will help their life, they will listen to you. They'll give you more time. So the majority of the people that I start working with, I don't actually start working with them till I've met them like 4 or 5 times. And during that time, the majority of the time, I'm not, unless they ask me, I'm not talking about how much they need to pay me or anything like that. I'm purely finding out, what does this person need? What do they need to have a better life? What are the problems they have that if I help them get rid of them, it will improve their life and their lifestyle? And I'm just solely focused on that. Now, guys, I get it. I get it that sometimes if you're relying on just the income from your coaching business, you're not making enough, then it's not that easy. But it's precisely what's going to separate you from being an amateur or being a professional that's going to win the game. You must be purely focused on, what does this person need? How can I help them get there? How can I help them get there? That good?
Perfect. It's what everyone needed to hear, man. I think that sentence is a perfect place to leave it today, man, because that mindset switch is huge. That mindset switch from how much money can I get to how much can I help is going to be long-term. We're about long-term business here. We're not about short-term hype. We're about long-term lifestyle, business growth, branding, and just creating a positive impact on the world, man. So, Andre, thank you so much for being here today, mate.
My pleasure, man. Great to see you, man. Looking forward to seeing you soon, yeah?
100%. And thank you so much for anyone listening live or watching live or listening to the recording. I'll be back in a few days' time with another episode of Coaches to the Moon. Thank you so much. Much love.